But he has stood up and fought for the things that we care about. And I know that he is going to be there standing up and fighting for the restoration of the Constitution. That he is going to be standing up and fighting for restoring some sort of fiscal sanity. That, and I'm hoping on this one, we haven't gotten policy statements here, but I have, in my heart and soul, know that this is somebody who's going to be standing up and fighting against things like Obamacare, the IRS, the EPA, the DOJ, the DOE, all of them that are just simply attacking us. So it is a thrill for us. I'm speaking for a lot of the people here, Steve, that we have been looking for somebody who is going to step forward and act with us to represent each individual American citizen rather than some special interest group or some Washington elite. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is really my thrill to introduce to you the next senator for the state of New Jersey, Mr. Steve Lonegan.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah, this is an exciting time, right? Who would expect 48 hours ago? I didn't know 48 hours ago we're going to have a race like this. But you know what we have that nobody else has? To put this race together by Monday and to win, we have the grassroots. That's you guys. We have the Tea Party conservative movement that is the backbone of America. And we're going to reignite the Tea Party movement. We're going to reignite the conservative base. And we're going to win the first U.S. Senate seat in New Jersey in over 40 years.
Yes.
Yes. Why? Because the election is going to be October 16th. Now, some people have said, this sort of sarcastically, well, Lonegan, you're supposed to be the fiscal conservative, and this race is going to cost money. Why don't they do it in November with the governor's race? And I said, no, I don't put a price tag on democracy. Right? I don't put a price tag on democracy. And by the way, if we could do away with project labor agreements, we could deliver those voting machines much cheaper than what they say. But the beauty of about October 16th is that there's going to be one thing talked about in that race, and that's Obama's agenda. We're not going to be on the ballot with the governor and the freeholders and the local council and the referendum question. It's going to be all about one thing. Obamacare, cap and trade, Dodd-Frank, and the failed policies of Barack Obama. And folks, we will win on those policies. I am not afraid to go head-to-head with Cory Booker, Frank Pallone, Sheila Oliver. I don't care who they put out. If it's Frank Pallone, bring him on, baby. Frank Pallone, the mastermind and the prime sponsor of Obamacare. That's Frank Pallone. Let him explain that to the voters in New Jersey. Only 3 weeks after Obamacare takes root, you have to start the mandates and the paperwork. America doesn't like it. That's what the election is going to be about. And if it's Cory Booker, right? We have trendy Mr. Twitter feed. Newark has the most expensive school system in the United States of America. Soaks up billions of suburban taxpayer dollars and still fails our students. Let's run on that issue, Mr. Booker. Or how about the highest crime rate in the state? Or the highest unemployment in New Jersey? Or the biggest municipal budget deficit that requires massive billions of dollars of taxpayer support to keep their patronage machine afloat. No, we'll get past the cute Twitter feeds and all the funny newspaper stories. And let's get down to his record versus my record in the Borough Pagoda. Let's pitch our suburban, conservative Tea Party movement against the inner city liberal Democrat machine. Bring it on. We'll win. Amen. This is a special election for a U.S. Senate seat, a Democrat seat for 40 years. And the whole country is going to be watching this race.
Yes.
It's the only U.S. Senate seat up in the nation this year. So everybody's going to be watching this from here to Hawaii to Alaska.
Awesome.
And we're going to reignite the conservative movement. We're going to reignite the Tea Party movement across the country because it's the first U.S. Senate seat after the re-election of Barack Obama. So now let my opponents talk about the IRS. Let them defend and make excuses for this administration's use of the IRS to go after our Tea Party groups. Let them defend the Department of Justice and Eric Holderman for using their power to go after news reporters. or let them defend their failed policy of allowing Americans to die so brutally in Benghazi. That's what they have to defend. We have nothing but to provide a better alternative. You know, this country is built on a belief and on the fundamental principle that every American knows what its government is doing. This administration believes the government should know everything you're doing. And what's at stake in this election is our liberty and our future prosperity, because I think in the last 5 years we've seen the most primordial assault on our fundamental American principles that I've ever seen in American history. Again, the IRS, Benghazi, this massive expansion of a regulatory government that intrudes in every part of our lives, whether it's the healthcare monstrosity, whether it's a cap-and-trade effort to control energy, whether it's the Dodd-Frank bill that reaches into every aspect of our financial well-being. This is a terrific day. And ladies and gentlemen, I've spent the last 5 years, as you well know, talking about these issues. Many of you have come with me to Washington, D.C. by the thousands to protest Obamacare, to protest cap and trade, to take on the Dodd-Frank attack on our and many, many other issues. We've built this organization over years, and now we're going to ignite it. And on October 16th, whoever the Democrats put up to try to win that Senate seat, they're going to be run over by our message and our commitment to the future of this country. Today is June 6th, the 69th anniversary of the invasion of Normandy, of D-Day. And you know, historically, if you look at that date, over 2,500 Americans died that day on the beaches of Normandy, from Omaha, across all of those historic battles. But in the year prior to D-Day, Europe and the American allies were demoralized. You know, the Nazis were making advances. But those troops hit that beach 69 years ago today and turned the tide of the morale, step by step, battle by battle. And that's what defending liberty is all about. So, I didn't do it intentionally, but I'm kind of honored to be able to announce on this historic day. As of right now, we probably have close to 200 people across the state gathering signatures for petitions. And I did a news interview last night on NGN, some of you may have seen it, and Sheila Oliver, who's one of the Democrat candidates who was on before me with Mike Schneider, and she was complaining about how hard it is trying to get 1,000 signatures by Monday. I said, really? I don't think it's going to be a problem at all. What's the matter? Don't you have a base? Hey, wake up your unions, guys. Get your where are those community organizers when you need them? I'll tell you what they're doing. They have to pay people to get signatures for Cory Booker. They can't get volunteers. They have to pay people. That's what they have to do, because they don't care. Their base doesn't care like we do about this country and about the future of this. Oh, no. Don't. I'm wrong. They care. But they have a different vision for the future of this country than we do. There's a terrific article in The Economist. Now, The Economist is an economics, it's kind of a liberal economics magazine that came out, an article that came out last month. And the article talks about the fact that over the last 20 years, over 1 billion people around the world have been elevated out of poverty. And they begrudgingly admit that they were elevated out of poverty because of free trade and free markets.
Thank you.
Around the world. Amen. An idea that was born in this country, that a long time ago elevated this country out of poverty. It wasn't socialism, it wasn't statism, it was good old free market economics. Barack Obama, Cory Booker, Frank Pallone, Sheila Oliver, Russ Holt, whoever it is, they don't get that. They want more socialism, more statism. And whoever's elected, I don't care if it's Cory or Frank, any one of them is going to be a rubber stamp for Barack Obama's policies. It's going to make a bit of difference. I want to get to Washington as a U.S. Senator, and I want to make Harry Reid's life miserable. That, as you know, I've with Governor Christie, who I lost to in the primary, and then I endorsed and worked for in the general, who I have criticized when he was wrong, and I've supported when he's right. He got us out of cap and trade. He stopped us being part of the healthcare exchanges, and he's been criticized for this decision to do this kind of a race. Today, he appointed the Attorney General, Mr. Chiesa, as a temporary placeholder, allowing us a wide open field for competition. Who can put the best team together the fastest? Who can compete and who can win on the issues, not on the establishment machine, not on controlling who gets the party line, but who has the troops on the ground who care about America enough to put a candidate on the ticket this Monday. I believe you're those troops. I believe I'm that candidate. Yes. That's why we're the best team. And to go one step further, to say, no, let's not have this election with everybody else. Like I said, let's have a standalone election where the entire country is watching us in action, watching us, our conservative Tea Party allies, our supporters of the Second Amendment, our supporters of the right to life, fight for a Senate seat. On the other hand, there's no excuses for losing. We have the issues, now we have to do the work. And the first thing we have to do between now and Monday is get over 1,000 signatures on those petitions, and that's not an easy trick, but we can do it. You know, I did an interview today with Bob Engel at the Asbury Park Press, and he asked, well, you know, you're going to talk about the economic policies, Steve, and you're really good on that, but what about the social issues? Are you going to get into the social issues? No. Because, you know, these moderate Republicans, well, you know what, don't talk about the social issues. And I said, Bob, let me tell you where I stand. I'm pro-life.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Cory Booker supports taxpayer-funded abortions up till the day of delivery. Let's have it out, guys. Yeah. I support the Second Amendment to the Constitution, the right of Americans to defend their rights. Period. No discussion. And Cory Booker is a gun control freak who will disarm America.
Second Amendment, no matter what.
Second Amendment, no matter what.
Right.
And I believe. So let's talk about these social issues. I believe in the sanctity of marriage between a man and a woman. And Cory Booker is pro-gay marriage. Fine. Let's discuss it. Let's see what the taxpayers of New Jersey believe in, what the voters of New Jersey believe in. So this is it. This is a unique experience, ladies and gentlemen. A unique experience for you guys to play a bigger role in an election than you have ever played in your lives. Because your voices will matter when you talk to your neighbors, when you talk to your friends, more than ever before. There's nothing else on the ballot to interfere with us. Nothing to get in the way of our conservative message. That's why we're going to win in October. That's why I will be your candidate. And every day from now to Election Day, I will be working to win this election. I will raise the money we need. And if I need to raise $10 million to match him, we'll raise $10 million. Because it's going to come in from all across the country.
Yes.
I am thrilled to be here tonight. This is my first grassroots event since I announced this afternoon. I couldn't pick a better place to be.
Thank
you! So, you have petitions. If you don't have petitions, I'm going to have some more in a little bit. We need to get them, all the signatures we can. You need to get them notarized, your signature notarized in the back. We need to get them together Sunday night, and we need to get them to Trent.
Not a problem.
I don't know. It's 1,000. That's a lot. I'm shooting for a lot more than that.
We'll get them.
We're going to send it all a message. So again, God bless you. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to a great campaign.